Hi, my name's Tim, and I'm living with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, otherwise known as ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. Take your pick. Two days after I was diagnosed, and Kaylan and I already decided we would go public. We really didn't discuss which way. She started this Facebook group, and that was the name of it.
So I decided that everyone should know. I knew that there was no way we could get through this by ourselves.
I mean, Kaylan, God love her, she jumped in full force there at the beginning, and I don't think she was quite prepared for the level of response.
Within the first 10 hours of it being up, I had hundreds of emails.
None of us were prepared for that level of response or support.
The Often Awesome Army, we are a loosely knit organization of people that all love Tim LaFollette. So we put together benefit shows, we've put on art auctions, we've done all sorts of things. Everybody comes together and wants to do something for him. And so this is sort of the umbrella organization under which most of that happens. I'm Katie Brawley, and I'm part of the Often Awesome Army. The Often Awesome Army's put on several benefit shows. The first one we did was in July. It was 5 or 6 bands. It was at Green Street, sold it out. It was absolutely so exciting and so wonderful. And it was from that, the next show we did was the Kudzu Wish Final Reunion show. It was another Often Awesome show. Sold that out at the Blind Tiger, and that was absolutely insane, just ridiculous, completely intoxicating amount of energy that was going on with that show. The next thing that we did was an art benefit at the end of October, and there was art donated not just from Tim's friends, but people in the community, people all over the country who had heard about him and just wanted to be a part. And were just so inspired by everything that they'd seen. They were so inspired by the movement that was occurring in the community that they wanted to be a part of it too. It's
kind of taken on a life of its own, the whole thing, and I'm still kind of stunned. I don't really know, how to respond to it, but to be really thankful. I think, before this, like a lot of people, I was very hesitant to accept help, very independent. No, I got it. But, with something like this, I might have said it before, but eventually you have to get over yourself and realize that you can't. There will be things you won't be able to do without help.
There's been a ramp installed at the house where he's currently living. We've also raised money. We bought him a conversion van, a handicapped wheelchair accessible conversion van. And these are all things that, he couldn't have afforded on his own, and Kaylan couldn't have bought for him. And they're all things that have really made his life better. And this is why, this is the Army. These people are all part of the Army. And the more people that hear about it, and the more people that talk, that hear his music or hear anything about his story, they're contacting us and saying, how can we give? How can we give? What can we do?
There's not really any way I can fully express my gratitude to the way that the whole Often Awesome Army, as they're referring to themselves, the way that they've responded to this. Not everyone gets their own army.
A really beautiful thing has been that not only have people been donating their money, but they've been donating time, they've been donating services. People have been cooking meals and bringing them over to his house. He has a friend from back home who donated a motorized scooter for him, like a wheelchair.
I just can't imagine doing this without them.
This disease is nothing compared to this response. As shitty as it is, the positives are way outweighing the negatives of what's going on.
I'm Liz Tiroler, and I'm part of the Often Awesome Army. Tim is an angel. He's up there with the most amazing people I've ever met in my life, and I have thought about him in that way since I met him.
Hello, I'm Michael Salino, and I'm part of the Often Awesome Army. I consider him a great friend, somebody, who would do the same thing for me. I just love him to death. That's the most important thing.
Why is doing this important to me? Because Tim LaFollette is somebody that means a whole lot to me, and he's somebody that's meant a lot to me for a very long time.
he doesn't really fully comprehend, I don't think, how important this process is to everyone around him. That we don't just do it for him, we do it because we have to do it. We don't have a choice.
You know, we could sit and feel helpless, and we could sit and feel just useless, or that, you know, that because you can't fix it, that you don't have to do anything, and that's just not true.
First and foremost, that it's Tim with Follett, and how much he means to me, and how special of a person he is, and for something like this to happen to somebody like him, you know, just making the whole thing as painless and seamless for him would be the most important thing for me personally.
Tim has found his one, and it's too much for one person to take on. And for me to be able to have some role in making their relationship easier is so important, because Tim shouldn't have to go through this alone. And so by taking on these responsibilities, it frees Kaylan up to just love him.
Everyone, amazingly enough, decided that, you know, kind of made the same decision that we made, that you just have to buck up and fight now.
You know, like I in my worst moments, I sometimes feel like I'm rearranging, you know, deck chairs on the Titanic. And I said this to a friend once, that I just, you know, I felt like all we're doing is just kind of changing the arrangement and making things, you know, look different, but it's still all gonna end in the same way. And this friend of mine said, you know, it's not like that. It's like when the band on the Titanic kept playing as the ship went down. And it's, you know, that band met its ultimate end that they knew they were going to meet, but everybody who witnessed the ship going down and who heard that remembered it.
You know, whatever Tim needs from me that I could do for him, that's what, you know, I'm totally gonna do it for him.
Watching him die is awful. It makes you feel so powerless and so useless and hopeless. And having this huge group of people who all have skills, whether it's quilt making or playing music or just loving him, just being his friend, it makes you feel like you can do something, like you're empowered.
It's nice to know that there are people that when shit hits the fan, they're ready to clean it off the walls with you, no questions asked. And that's kind of what's happened with the Army.
The response that has been generated by this has just been overwhelming. Not in a bad way, but overwhelming in a way that just apparently I didn't, you know, I'm not Idi Amin or Pol Pot or something, and I've done something in my life that was worthwhile because people are being awfully nice to me right now.
Well, I'll die trying, I'll never give up. Even when the odds are down, when no one gives a fuck. And even when pigs are flying, hell is frozen up. Well, I'll die trying, I'll never give up. And I know it's hard to love someone whose head is in the stars, but don't give up.
Ha ha ha, like if I were to be eulogized, I think that would be on my gravestone. Often awesome. It's got a ring to it or something.
Promising, I've given you the moon. I will die trying, I'll never give up. Even when the odds are down, when no one gives a fuck. Not even when pigs are flying, hell is frozen up.